Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm in two. It's 2 minutes after. If folks are okay with it, how about we get started? Awesome. Um, if people don't mind, I'll try to go first. I don't have a written note in front of me of what I got done or not, but I'll try. In the last week, I reached out for sponsorship, i.e., discounted or free parts from Bridgestone, Toyo Tire, uh, Chevrolet Performance Parts, Chevrolet Proper, American Honda Motor Company, uh, Ford Star Wheels, Wheels Pros, which owns the Motegi brand, which we've used in past. Who else? That's about half. So that also meant I looked up the marketing and brand contacts for each of those companies, invited them all to connect with me on LinkedIn. Most of them did, and then found either phone numbers or email addresses for each of those folks as a start, and then contacted all of them and asked for sponsorship. Almost all of them are at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit this week, so I didn't get to talk to any of them live, but I left them voicemails and then sent emails. We'll see, and I'll try giving them all a call again next week. Then that's all to get engine modules running, because it offsets cost of what we spend on wheels or tires or whatever else, so we can spend it on engines, or it gets us an engine directly. I also reached out to JEGS and Summit, which provide crate engines, asking them for a crate engine. On the justification that we're doing South by Southwest this year, and we're the main event at the Big M Manufacturing Conference in Detroit. I was saying, would you like a presence there? We'd be happy to help. Then I did kick off the Light Card Challenge with 4 folks in Detroit as the people who were able to attend the first session. It was intended to be sprint planning, but honestly, the meeting went really slowly. I was able to knock out, I think it was 9 cards in the hour before the meeting, and we got 1 card done together in the hour we spent on video chat. So it really slowed things down. I hope that means they're going to accelerate, because they're very talented folks. I don't know, they were just in a slow mood. We talked about this fast, and I don't know. The one that did get done is Deetra, one of them, did translate all the cards from sticky notes to Trello. And I hadn't used Trello in a couple of years. It seems to have changed a lot. I actually don't think they're visible to the world yet. I'll see if I can flip that toggle so everyone can see them, but only invited folks can get it. So far, I infinitely prefer physical sticky notes to Trello, but I'll give it a shot. So that happened just today. And also dove into the work for the Light Car Challenge, again, to try to fund our engine. That's the goal of the Light Car Challenge entirely, from my perspective, is to attempt to buy engines. Then in the last week, I worked on chassis number 8 with Milo Wing and a crew from Boeing, including one of their 5-year-old daughters, which was adorable. And she bolted together one of the cross members with mom and dad's help. She got it done. Absolutely cool. I look forward to uploading that demo video. It's super cute. Chassis number 8 now has both sides bolted together, the 4 cross members drilled, and now the sides are being drilled to accept the mount plate for the cross members. We might even get it done tonight. I'll let everybody know how that goes. Also in the last week, I finished drilling the cross members for chassis number 8. That's right, baby Senna. That's right. And a few other shop tasks that are escaping me. I worked on the broken axles. We had an axle broken in shipping on car 7. I didn't get it done though, and I worked with Rob Huggins on that. Geez, what else was in the last week? Probably some huge, big, epic stuff, but I'm not remembering it. That's what I remember. Next week, I hope to get as much velocity again into the Light Car Challenge. I hope to maybe even have a draft submission, and if our questions are answered, that'll unblock maybe putting a draft submission. Like, I don't know if we can do 1 or more submissions with multiple ideas, maybe we can put a whole bunch of drafts and then see which ones we can get to a high stated done, but that's a question to be asked. In the next week, I might even finish chassis number 8, and I hope to prepare the shop for the next XM ESM class, the Certified Scrum Master Extreme Manufacturing class, in Linwood, Washington, here, suburb of Seattle. And that's one of the other things. I started preparing the shop with Milo Wing and Rob Huggins and the folks from Boeing. We started cleaning the shop, cleaning space for the chairs and tables, etc. What else next week? That'd be a good goal, is to reconnect with the sponsors, clear the shop, prep the shop for more for the class, and make more headway on the light car challenge. It would be pretty epic. Blocking issues is I've got several questions for the light car challenge from ARPA E and Local Motors. And their question and answer center session is this Saturday at 9 a.m. Arizona time. And that's when I'm at Kung Fu on Saturdays, which is super important to me. And I'm ramping up to try to test the 5th degree black belt with May. So although the light car challenge is very important, it's back up against this other thing that's very important. So I'm going to see if anyone is willing to attend that Q&A on Saturday, this Saturday in 2 days, and record it, audio and video, and be willing to pose the questions that have been recorded so far. There's 4. So that's actually a pretty serious block. If the Q&A is during a commitment that I'd really like to keep. I'm hoping someone out there can either attend that or find someone who will attend it in my stead for the team. Other blocking issues, we still don't have a running engine. Car number 1 was sabotaged, or it was rewired with a solution that didn't work. And car number 2 was crash tested. And those were our 2 running engine models. They're gone. That's a massive blocking issue that we've all been working to resolve. I did also watch all of Michael Wolchek's uploaded videos and loved each and every one. Those are the only blocks I know of. Attending the Q&A on Saturday or finding someone to do it, I will. And not having a running engine module, but I know Michael Wolchek's making headway and we're all trying. Who would like to go next?
I guess I'll go. So, my notes all screwed up here. So last week I went ahead and upgraded my Dropbox account to a premium account to give me more space to deal with moving the files over to OwnCloud. And let's see, right before the meeting, Dropbox was still syncing up, but it looks like it's just completed syncing now. So they're synced back to my computer so I can get to the next step there. The next step is when I sync these up with OwnCloud, because of the way, since I had to upgrade my account, it'll be best to go ahead and set everybody's access to read-only as soon as I get the files over to OwnCloud, so that we're not dealing with 2 locations with different files being uploaded. I was hoping I could have one folder on my computer that would sync both up for a period of time, but I also don't want to have to keep paying for the premium account for an extended period of time. So. Okay. Let's see. I did get some pricing on connectors from a couple of distributors for the accelerator, and I'm waiting on a third, which the third is the one who was recommended by Sumitomo. So far, no one I found can provide the connector or the terminals on the pedal side, on the actual component. So I'm still looking into that. I'm hoping that these last people that are going to get in touch with me that are approved distributors maybe it would help out with that a little more, or help us find an alternate solution. Let's see, I did some more research on how to stream a Linux desktop to YouTube live events, and I did not get very far with that, so I do not have a working solution yet. That's really all I have to say about that one. So, I approved and answered some comments on the website, which I don't... I think some of them were about the engine module issues, and a couple of others I don't remember now. Oh, I signed up and got the confirmation today that I'll be attending the February 5th and 6th Extreme Manufacturing Certified Sun Master class, master there in Linwood. So that's awesome. And oh, and I looked at some of the other entries on the Light Car Challenge on their site today, and kind of saw what different kind of concepts people were putting up there. So let's see. For next week, I want to do like a initial sprint zero or stand up with the people I'll be grouping up with on the Light Car Challenge to figure out what we can work on and what we think we can knock out. I'm going to continue working with the connector manufacturers, of course, to try to get these connectors. I've got one that I can maybe send some pictures to work on the ignition connectors, which hasn't had any progress so far. I'm going to put a spreadsheet with the various bids for the connectors on Carica so everybody can see that. Um, I still plan on posting another blog to the website and continue working, trying to get Linux to actually host this meeting completely, the recording and upload and stream and everything. I also plan on updating WordPress and plugins. There's a new version of WordPress and about 15 plugins that have updates. So I'll go ahead and knock that out. It doesn't usually take too long. And other than that, I guess my blocks are. I actually have written here fucking wire connectors. So trying to locate these things is far more challenging than I anticipated. So, and that's it for me.
Okay, I guess I might as well go. The progress for this week isn't very much. Working on the zero crossing circuit, I got a little bit more video shot today, made a little bit of progress, and that's pretty much it. Are we doing planning for next week? Planning for next week?
Yeah, I actually meant to do demo, what we got done, planning and retro all in a row, and I forgot to do my retro, so I guess I'll just circle back on that for at least me and Chris. But yeah, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, I'm going to continue working on that zero crossing circuit. I've got written down that I got to install OwnCloud. I had it on my machine and somehow it disappeared. I've got to pair with Chris to find out how to record that Q&A session. If no one else sticks up their hand, I can go. It's just my bandwidth is limited, so it may not look very good when we're done, but I should be able to get the information. And of course, attend the Q&A session if that's going to be me. Light Card Challenge kickoff. The only other person that didn't attend your kickoff this morning was Chris, I think. Are there any others that are going to be joining us?
Possibly Michael.
If there is, then that's
possibly Michael Hossie, but we'd have to see if you, Chris, and Michael have a single time available to connect each week. I don't know, but yes, there's a potential of one more.
okay. And demo, I uploaded one video, and I've got another one on the go. Retrospective, I'm going to give myself a 7. Give the team probably a 9.5. I'm pretty consistent with that. And I didn't prepare a process improvement suggestion, so I'm eagerly waiting for someone else to. And that's about it for me.
All right, I'll go next. Last week I got the electronic key controller. I also have got the USB link for it, so I was able to actually have a demo of some pictures of it. Here's the actual ESC hooked up to a makeshift battery for now. This is the wire that goes to the red, black, or red, orange, and white wire actually goes to the USB castle link that goes to the computer, so that it sees that I don't have there's another part I need. I need a servo tester just to make this thing work on the motor. But I don't have that. That's on order. It should be here Monday. But I did check out the. It goes to the computer, and you can totally modify this thing to whatever, however you want it to work with motors, different start motors, voltages. I checked out that. I checked out it's got a logging feature, voltage cutoff. And then also it has it downloads logs. Yeah, there you go. So it has a data logging system, so you can actually go and get a graph of what you're doing. Right now, it has where the battery's connected, showing you it's got 11.8 volts, 24.9. But I also did some other searching on it, and we get a castle, actually email the manufacturer, and this PSP can be controlled by the computer. So we could have the middle of the dash with telemetry and and a laptop that'll actually control the motor, reverse, forward, and all that good stuff. So it looks like it's going to work. Just got to wait for that one last part. And then after that, I will start CADing the whole engine module, differential, and all that stuff for the rear, and actually build it. So next, what I plan to do next week is get the turbo tester, test the motor with the ESP, and I gotta tear apart the shop some more. So I haven't been able to move it. I gotta tear down the heating group that's there and do other things before I can get the truck to move everything. Let's see. Retrospective, I give myself 7 for all the information that I've been able to scoop up for this motor, and give the team a 9. Looks like a lot of stuff getting done. No process improvement.
Rob, that was awesome. Is there anyone on the call with a stand-up who is not yet given it? Okay, retrospective. 10 and 10. Holy wow. You guys are awesome. This might even work. Proposed process improvement. Let me think on that one. I'm not sure. Yeah, I've got some ideas, but they're not actionable yet. Or at least I'm not sure which path would be solid. Here's what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is, for whatever reason, I'm not logging into Perica as often as I should. And I just started putting note backlog on my own wall by my desk where I'm working each day. There's already one in the shop. Now it's in front of me when I'm not on the road, not at a client. It's just in front of me all the time. And I'm getting way more done. So process improvement is somehow to make the backlog more consistently visible, whether that's a backlog that's easy on a mobile device, because I always have my phone with me, or whether it's a backlog that at least I post of notes in front of me from Erica, or I don't know. But I don't know how to do it. But something like that is something that I think would help people with my personality type, and maybe some others. Chris, I think you're next.
Yeah. So I would say, yeah, for my ability to contribute to the team, a 10, definitely, especially with everything that's going on this week and soon. I feel like I really can easily participate. And a 10 for the team. It seems like everybody's kind of geared, moving forward, but also geared towards the same major goal, which I really like. And my process improvement, I don't know. There's kind of several variations on this. I was basically saying use a character or a scrum board to track or designate what the top priority story currently is. But I kind of like the idea that everybody jumped on to this light card challenge. And some of the issues we were having with like the engine module, if we could have made that like, I mean, I don't think just using the word challenge makes everybody excited about it, but a way to at least designate and let everybody know, hey, this is the what's most important and kind of exciting everybody to work on now. It seems like it could maybe help more people participate. So
Any idea how to make that actionable, Chris? I really love that, actually.
well, Like I said, I had it written like maybe use Carica and it have a column or something that separate from the backlog shows what the most important story is overall. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. But
Okay. Um, how about any one of us, including myself, any one of us plugs into Carica and collapses all the backlog columns into one column called backlog and deletes the rest. And the top item in the backlog, we put running, make another running engine module, top priority, urgent, challenge, awesome, all hands on deck. And that way it's clear, or we make, yeah, maybe that, or we add an epics column to the left of stories, and the epic is running engine module, and that way they can get a whole bunch of stories. I'm not sure. I guess there's pros and cons either way. But yeah, how about someone attempts to collapse all the columns in Perica that are different types of backlog down to one, uh, or at most two, and attempts to make clear that the top priority is the best I know right now is running engine module.
I'll happily work on that. In fact, I think that was just cleaning up Carico was a process improvement in and of itself in the past. But I don't currently have project leader access to the Linwood board, so I cannot edit columns. If someone
Oh,
would like to upgrade me there, I can start whittling away at that.
I sure can. In fact, I'm going to try to do that right now because otherwise, who knows what will happen. Um, okay, cool. Is there anyone with a retrospective who has not yet given it? All right. Any votes for or against any of the flavors of proposed process improvements?
Sounds good to me.
Thanks, Robert. Nice and precise. Okay. Okay, well then it's shipped. And it, I believe, is Joe gives what everyone on this call should have access to the Lumen board as well, but I'll make sure Chris does. Um, and anyone, including Chris, but Chris says he'll take a swing at it, will attempt to simplify the columns in Carica dramatically and attempt to make visible that the most important epic is running engine module. I believe that's it, the process improvement to attempt. And that's a story, but the process there is to attempt to make more visible the most important current epic. Excellent. With that, we are done. We are done, 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 done. That's all the core jive. And this is open conversation. If folks have open comments or questions, now's a good time. If you need to go, that's fine. In the meantime, I'm going to attempt to give Chris Wallace admin access to the character Linwood board.
I will say on these calls, I actually like the format where we go through backlog sprint planning blocks as one chunk, and then everybody goes through retrospective. Just because, like you've mentioned in the past, after getting to hear what everyone else is doing, it actually changes my numbers on sometimes. So I and also sometimes it gives you a chance to hear what other people's process improvements are, so you can make one up real fast. Um, Also, Michael, I'll get you. I'll probably if I need to find that installer for Pixatel to record the sessions. I'll probably just drop that into Dropbox to make it easy for you to download. Because I mean, it's very difficult to find on the internet, but I actually have the installer file so that you'll be able to record it. I'm also going to try to log in Saturday morning and we'll record it. Um, and Joe, those I guess those
Yeah, both of
questions.
us recorded, so much the better.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, Joe, those questions that you want to ask, can you, or are those just going to be posted to the WIKISPEED forum so we can, or is there going to be a better place to do that?
I'd better. By the way, Trello seems fine, but I'm not in love with it so far. So I don't know. 4 out of 5 people on the team all voted for Trello, so I'm giving it a go. But I'm not in love with it so far.
I checked today. I don't currently have access to it. It's not viewable to the public. So
I think I can fix that right now. I think. Um, I think I saw where to do that. Org visible public. See if I have permission. I don't have permission. Only the person who created and invited me has permission. Okay, so I see where the setting is, but I don't have permission. But I will read you the questions right now. Well, here, let me email them.
Yes, email would be much better than me trying to type them.
I can't email them. Thank you, Trello. And I think I just changed the order unintentionally. Wow, this sucks, actually. God damn it, I can't even put it back in order. Like, if you're holding a card, you can't scroll. I'm gonna have to read it to you. I don't see a method to cut and paste out of these cards. What monkeys designed this thing? And I don't know, maybe it just doesn't like Internet Explorer, which, I mean, usually I use Chrome, but now Chrome doesn't work with Google Hangouts this week.
it's
I'm gonna have to read
Okay, shoot.
If somebody's ready, I'm ready to read them, even though now they're out of order.
Could you maybe do a screenshot of them and email them? Would that be easier than us trying to shorthand type it?
Let me see if I can get them all visible on the same screen, but
Even if it's two or three pictures. Yeah.
This is infuriating. God, what the fuck? No, they're not even all visible on one screen, and now they're not in priority order. Wow, this is infuriating. I'm sure there's a solve. I can't imagine it's this buggy. Maybe it just doesn't like Internet Explorer today. Yeah, so all the columns scroll. They all scroll off the screen, so screen capture won't get us very far. Here's 2 out of 3, 4 questions. Sorry, guys, this is slow and silly. Are there any other cross topics of conversation while I attempt to do this?
Well, Joe, I like to say that electronic speed controller.
Yeah.
Do some research on it on the internet and for the Castle Link 5 that does the telemetry and all that good stuff. It seems to be Arduino friendly too.
Oh, ah.
So you can control the motor with Arduino boards, and there's actually a written program already that's a general license that's on the internet already for it. So, I'm not sure how you program Arduino boards, but
well, that I don't know all about it, but I do know about it, and I've done it a few times, and I'm pretty comfortable with the idea. Wow, Rob, if any of this actually works, and it seems like it should, it's gonna be awesome. So yes, please, 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 please.
By the way, Rob, that demo was awesome. And hey, yeah, Michael. So when you use Pixatel or any really screen recording software, I just need to verify. Are you using Windows and what version?
Yes, I'm using Windows and it's version 7.
Version 7. Okay, I've got this computer I'm on is 7, and I don't know that I had to change anything for it, so you're probably going to be in luck. Occasionally you run into an issue with the sound that by default it will not record, and you have to go in and basically make sure in your mixer you have the option of stereo. Sometimes it's there and it just needs to be unmuted. Sometimes you have to go into the hardware settings of the card and go to like advanced settings and make that an option. In the case of the last computer, the Windows 8 one I did, I actually had to download another driver to make it available. But I think at least on my Windows 7 computer, everything was there and available, and it worked right out of the bat. But if you do run into problems with it, let me know, and I've already dealt with, I think, everything that can go possibly wrong with trying to record it, so we can knock that out real quick.
Okay, yeah, whenever you get her loaded up, just drop me a note.
Sounds good.
Chris, you are now a project leader on the Erica Linwood board. Please check if you're able to get in and move something.
I already feel so much more powerful.
Yes, please verify if it works at all. And I did just email a screenshot, and I just typed the two questions that were off screen.
Did anyone else look over the other entries on the light car challenge? Did anyone else have a chance?
I looked at, I didn't read them all. I looked at them, but I didn't read them all.
I mean, there's interesting stuff in there. It's a lot of it doesn't cover even close to the criteria, because some things are just like, hey, there's use this style of, honeycomb styrofoam or something, or like one is just like a way to lighten seats up and things like that. And it's interesting. From what I was seeing, it doesn't seem like anyone has made an entry yet that really covers the criteria they were looking for, which is a working vehicle with. Anyway, I guess it looks like they will take designs that aren't completely finished, and they just want to know how long they think it would take to actually finish a product like that too. But it doesn't look like anyone has a completely together working solution at this point.
Yeah, well, one problem is the project mission statement. It's one of the 4 questions that we've got so far. I don't remember it verbatim, but it's something like stuff that doesn't exist in the lab yet that's going to be considered cutting edge in 10 years is what they want. That's the guiding principle of the submission. And so one of the questions is, well, if we can build a prototype, does it still meet and there's a specific name. Right now I'll say the spirit of the challenge. There's a specific name for that. Because I want to know that we do have something that meets all their criteria except it's actually buildable. So I should ask, does that automatically disqualify us from what they're looking for here? And the sooner we know that, the better. And something very important I learned in the X Prize, the team that won was the only team that entered multiple cars. None of us even thought you could enter multiple cars. But we didn't ask. One team did. They entered 4 cars. One of them was awesome, and it won. So a question is, can we enter multiple submissions? I'd like to know. But yeah, they may say no, they don't want stuff that's immediately buildable. It doesn't qualify. I don't know. We should find out, the sooner the better. And luckily, Saturday seems to be our chance.
I think it would still fall in line with what they're looking for. It would just be how long it would take to develop this is like 0 days. It's already here. So, I mean, it seems more to me that would be more important what's available now, because I mean, we could sit here and say, well, it'd be really awesome if everything just floated 10 years from now too. But I mean, it seems like the closer to now something's ready to be built, the more practical it is, and the more good it's going to do immediately.
I'm completely in line with that way of thinking. Let's check if their judging criteria is as well. Yeah. Okay, guys. Everybody's awesome. The demos were all indicative of Grand Ultimate winning. Chris working with our current Honda engine modules, or at least knowing what we can or can't do with the wiring, which already it's much more than we ever knew before. And we might be able to 3D print the parts side but buy the wire side, which would still be better. In which case, I guess we need to find out if there's anybody who will make connectors for us as a service, who's already good at it, or do we have to figure that out on our own? But anyway, so that's looking good. Rob says he can probably save the world by sticking a computer in the dash, and I would love that to even come close to true. Meanwhile, Michael Wolchek is building it from the schematic. From well, it's the definition of an open source solution. It doesn't depend on any vendor other than Core Electronics, which is huge. If that gets to even a clunky prototype, we then have a valid open source solution that we can always rely on. Meanwhile, I'm talking to the companies that produce the higher dollar solutions and asking them to give us a discounted one or just give us one, or offset our other expenses so we can get one. So we have a multi-pronged attack, and we're trying to crush the light car challenge, which would just give us the money to, I don't want to say just make it go away because it's not millions of dollars, but to make headway on this challenge through the old-fashioned means, just doing it with dollars. Winning on all counts, guys. This just might work. Awesomely awesome. I should go get my shop suit on and get down to the shop and try to finish building chassis 8. Any other cross comments or questions there for while I'm on the line? All right, you guys are awesome. I'm going to email Deetra, who created the Trello board, to ask her if she wouldn't mind making it publicly visible. And let's rock this. Later, guys.
Rob, you still on?
Yeah, I'm still on.
This speed controller that you're working on, I don't really know very much of the details. I remember you were talking about like a washing machine motor, but I'm pretty sure that that's not what you ended up using. Is that right?
Yeah, but that's the motor. That is what I'm going to end up using, the washing machine motor. It's not
Okay, so that's got enough.
Huh?
So that's got enough torque to move the car, you think?
Oh, that thing will move the car. It's a
Oh, okay.
It's a brushless outrunner type motor. It's got a diameter of about 12 inches, and it's the outer part that holds the magnets, while the rotors in the middle stationary.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
almost,
so it's kind of backwards compared to normal motor.
yeah, it's backwards compared to all the other motors.
Okay. Yeah, I was because that thing has a top end of what 12, 1400 RPM kind of thing.
No, it can actually go up to on the machine, on the washing machine, it goes up to 2,000 RPM, no problem. But
Okay,
I'm sure I can get it to go more than that. I think they only put it there because, if it's an unbalanced load and any faster, I think it's going to be a problem.
yeah, it'd be a problem for the mechanical system, right?
Yeah, it already vibrates, when it goes to 1,500 RPM, and it's not balanced. It's got shock absorbers in and all that stuff to balance, to absorb some of it. But if you spin it any higher than that, it might just come flying out of the machine, the drum. But
So you're planning to put some sort of a planetary gearbox on it, or how are you connecting it to the wheel, or what are you looking at?
I'm going real simple. I'm just going to reduce it to 2 to 1, or more than that. Maybe it depends on how much torque it produces. But I'm just going to use a timing belt and timing pulleys. They work on Harley Davidson. They use them on Harley Davidsons and some 3-wheeled vehicles and that. And supposedly they can stand 500 horsepower, no problem. The belt, it should get. And this is only going to be making 14 horsepower. I don't know what the torque is, but the torque figure should be pretty good though.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So I was talking to some mechanical people, and they advised me that if I was going to But it's just a regular belt that I was talking about. They said don't go more than 3.5 to 1 because you start having to put idlers and stuff to keep the percentage wrap on the small pulley and stuff.
Right. Right. So that was without timing belts. They said to do that.
Yeah, they said that with the regular belt, that any higher than like 3.5 to 1, you'd have to put idlers on and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I know timing belts. I mean, they got a lot of grip. So because of the ridge, of course. So I don't think they're gonna.
Okay,
I actually use them on my.
I look forward to seeing a demo on this one.
Me too. I can't wait to get there. As soon as I get that servo tester, I'll be able to. I was trying to find a way of testing it, but I couldn't get I couldn't find anything that would give me the signal I needed. So I had to go buy a servo tester, which is the cheapest option to actually make it work. Other than I was going to use the laptop, but I have to buy the serial link for it, and that is they don't guarantee nothing on that. That's just you gotta know how to hook it up to the USB. You have to do your own soldering and whatnot. It's got a protocol. It's a protocol board, but and it gives you what the tabs what they stand for. But other than that, it's up to you to get it working. So and that's on their industrial side.
Perhaps a little bit more do-it-yourself than you're looking for.
Well, no, I don't mind. I don't mind it actually. I love experimenting and doing that stuff. Just that I don't have that much time, as much time as I used to. Plus, I'm not.
Yeah, turns out no one. Turns out no one really has that much time.
Yeah. I'm not an electrical engineer or a programmer, so I mean I figured it out with enough time, but trying that.
Well, just so you know, I am an electrical engineer and I am a programmer, and it still takes time.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to look it up to you pretty soon. No, but I might have some questions for you definitely. After I make sure that it will work, I'm almost 99% positive it's going to work on the engine. But after that, I may have some questions for you because I'm going to want to control it with the laptop instead of using a dial on a little box.
Yeah. Well, the laptop scares me just a little, especially if it's a Windows laptop. But I mean, for driving around a car show, that's one thing. For driving down the road, that sounds pretty scary.
Yeah, well, I was thinking it would be a separate system, like a little tablet there that is cut off from everything, and having safety mechanisms built in. But the good thing about this is you can reverse the motor too. So,
yes, not needing a reverse gear is very big advantage.
Yeah. But also I was looking at the motors. It looks like it'd be very easy to build your own motor, not your own brushless outrunner type motor. Because some people have taken the magnet out of the motor, out of the outrunner motor, and replaced it with the rare earth magnet to give it even more power. But don't think I'm gonna go that route just yet. But it should be exciting. Oh, and the thing about it, the ESP that I have supports 3 horsepower of electrical power watts. Uh, it's just not an expensive one. So I don't want to get too expensive before I know for sure it works. But there is one that gives 70.5 horsepower out of the ESP. And I 60 volts and 150 amps.
Yeah, I'm thinking 160 amps is a little bit more than the washing machine was going to be supplying. So we may have to use that for acceleration only.
Yeah. Burned out right off the bat. Yeah, no, that's gonna be awesome though. I'm excited. I can't wait to. If it does work, I can't wait to design the whole engine module thing. It's gonna be awesome.
All right. Chris, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just drop me a line when you figure out how to get that installer on the Dropbox, and I'll get her started.
I will do. And okay, so I guess that thing's Saturday. So I'm gonna try. I'll try to find it tonight. If not, I'll definitely get it in there tomorrow by the afternoon. I also, Mike, wanted to say on the last video, I think it's the last video that you uploaded, you showed you had a schematic that I guess that you went through and eliminated some components from to make it more efficient in a few steps there. Is that correct what I was saying?
No. What you have is when you have a schematic,
Hmm.
you have several places where like you hook wires together,
Yes.
and when you're putting it on a breadboard, those have to be all in like there's 5 points on each side of the breadboard that are all kind of hooked together. So you can only hook 5 things together.
Right.
So when you rearrange things, you put your finger on the dot and then you count the number of lines. And that's what I was trying to do. Is I was trying to get it so that the lines weren't crossing unless they actually met at a point. So I moved some components around to try and see whether I could get it to the point where I could put my finger on the dot and count the lines.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I, I am missing one capacitor, and that's because it was back ordered. So that's my wife's going to be picking that up tomorrow. But I haven't gone to redesigning the circuit. I'm just trying to get it built as it was designed so that I can get something working.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. I initially thought, like I said, you were redesigning the circuit to make less components, but it makes more sense that using the breadboard, that you were actually trying to squeeze all of the components into the room you have on the breadboard, basically. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I actually ended up having one point where there's 2 lines on the breadboard that are kind of in parallel because there was 6 wires that were supposed to go in the same place. So it just wouldn't fit. Anyway, the fun of breadboarding stuff.
I love breadboard. Always make
Well, my suggestion
What's that?
with breadboards is to go for the little bit more expensive ones, because the cheaper ones, the springs don't work and they have a little less insulation on the bottom. So if there's a metal plate and you stick your components in too hard, they end up contacting the metal and you get connections that you don't want. So unfortunately, I found out that spending an extra $3 or $4 on the breadboard works out in the long run.
I've got one I play around with sometimes. I think I bought it at Radio Shack, so I definitely paid a few extra dollars for it. But I've never had any issues with it, so that's good to know because I've seen ones much cheaper online and thought, oh, I should have done that, you know. But
Awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like the sockets for chips. The little bit more expensive ones are actually machined, and the little less expensive ones are actually clips. So it's the same kind of thing inside the breadboard. There's spring clips, and then there's like a jaw that you're spreading apart. They work better for longer. That's all.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
all right, good night, Rob.
So we'll talk to you next week.
All right, we'll see you later, Mike. Good night.